Today on Voices for Change, the power of art, bridging gaps and providing healing for all ages.
It's more about building community, and you see the magic happen.
The art of creating and the fact that they can start and finish something is a huge thing for them.
Plus, the spirit of sound striking chords of love.
When I'm playing music with someone, it's just, we become a community, we become family.
In Winning with Wine, a bar that's serving up much more than good vino.
Giving an opportunity for women to come in and get a job where they are respected and elevated, but that also gave them advancement opportunities.
Welcome to this special episode of Voices for Change. I'm Greg Lee. We started this show to shine a light on those working for a more diverse and equitable future. Today's show, all about community. These stories have been sent to us by you, the viewers, about organizations and individuals who are impacting the world around them. We begin with Oakland artist Fred Alvarado. For 15 years, he's been lending his talents to the Senior Center in the Fruitvale. His art projects giving these seniors opportunities to be creative and engaged.
Fred, let me ask you initially, what drove you to go to the Senior Center and put on this project? I mean, that's more than a decade ago that you started this.
Right next to the Senior Center, is a high school, and I just saw these two groups kind of coexisting, but not getting together or not communicating, not doing anything jointly. And I was just really curious in how I can create an intergenerational project. And the Senior Center gave me space to kind of to investigate that. I wanted to focus on marginalized groups, and I felt like this group of people, they're really a strong force, but sometimes they go unnoticed. And I wanted to see what was going on their daily lives.
Can you describe what you've seen from those seniors when you're in there giving those art lessons and those projects?
We've done a bunch of projects with them since 2008. I've done a few murals with them, collaborative mural projects. We made a comic book. We made a cooking book. This time we kind of worked towards making an exhibition. And so one of the main things that I've seen is that, this longing for fellowship, communication, connection is something that the art process helps us kind of helps to create that connection. So through coloring or painting together, or conversation happens. I think that these workshops with the seniors are about skill building, but it's more about building community. And you see the magic happen. One of the seniors might be really quiet in a corner, and they just come to life once we start to work together. So I think that that's one of the the magical moments that I see and that I keep coming back to. Is one is just kind of like this engagement and this kind of like reaction to our actions that happens, creating energy between them. I think that the healing has to do a lot with myself. As far as I get to heal, I get to connect with older folks. Get to hear the stories. I get to have a different understanding. I get to have a connection. And so I really value that connection where I feel like that's missing in our community. So when I get to connect with their stories, then the younger people could connect to me, and then we making these bridges.
Let me ask you how you would help other people in the community step up and maybe do some of the same things you're doing to interact with the communities that could really use this kind of fellowship.
If you see that there's a lack of communion in our communities, say hi to a neighbor, walk around and just, hey, how's it going? Good day. Just like these old school kind of like communications and respect towards each other makes a big difference. It doesn't have to be a large scale, super monumental project. It could just be about one walking around and just acknowledging each other in a friendly way, in a respectful way, right? Like, hey, how's it going? We exist, I I recognize you, you recognize me, hello. And sometimes you won't get the hello back, but it could be simple like that. A lot of these junctions are just broken, and they need a little bit of like a sealant to connect it again. And sometimes as an artist or an activist or somebody looking to make social change in a positive way, is just kind of looking for those natural intersections that are just kind of askew, and then helping that current get back into line.
While art can inspire creativity, it also has the power to heal. That's the idea behind the Kids in Art Foundation, which brings art-making experiences and joy to thousands of children diagnosed with cancer. It was founded by Purvi Shah in 2008. Her son passed after a 6-year battle with leukemia. During this Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, the organization is marking 15 years of providing healing and relief to children and their parents.
For the 15th anniversary of the Kids in Art Foundation, what has the last 15 years meant to you?
I started Kids in Art in 2008 with just one child. That's one patient, my son and his sibling. And today, after 15 years, our program is in 22 hospitals in 19 states. That's a legacy that my son has left behind.
And I want to talk about your son. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, the month that you lost your son. Can you speak to the inspiration that he has been for you and that he continues to be?
Yeah, May was, let's just say, he was a child that, had a lot to give in his little years. He passed away on September 25th in 2011. And Kids in Art, as I said, started in 2008. So he was there with us when I started the organization. He loved art. He loved being a child and being messy. And after he passed away in 2011, it's my older son who really asked me to start the organization. I did not have the courage to go back and see a bald head. For me, I thought that was it. I couldn't even get myself out of bed. It was my older son, Arjun, who said that as a sibling, it really helped him. And he felt that Ame would have wanted me to continue. And that's really how the organization continued after Ame, and has just been, an inspiration to me to show up every day, and has become what it has.
This foundation is all about the healing power of art for children with serious illnesses. Can you describe the joy and the peace that you've seen over the last 15 years on kids' faces when they engage in this art?
I'll say the biggest joy that we see is when we take our program in the hospital waiting room. That's where it's a very high stress environment. Nobody wants to be there. The child knows why they are there. The parents know why they are there. So when our artist walks in with her bright orange T-shirt, everything changes. The kids forget why they are there in the first place, because suddenly it's the art that brings them to a place of childhood, of joy, of color, right? And as soon as this, hold a pen, pencil, crayon, whatever it is, they really get immersed in the project, and that's it. Their world is what they create. They can control. They get to choose what they draw and paint, and they get to be the artist. That's very rare. They don't get to do that. Once they're diagnosed, they have no control. They have to give up a lot of things, as I mentioned earlier. So just the art of creating and the fact that they can start and finish something is a huge thing for them.
Purvi, you know what these parents are going through on such a very intimate level. So what do you say to them as they engage in this journey with their children if they've been diagnosed with cancer, about what you want them to know and what you want them to know about how art can help in this process?
It's not an easy journey for anybody to go through. And that's the reason why Kids in Art, we know that as soon as you put pen to paper or color on a canvas, it just transforms you and takes you somewhere else. So my hope is that pick up anything, even if it's a pencil, because you don't have anything else in the hospital waiting room, or, you're writing something or listening to music or moving your body, whatever it is. Just the act of distraction and disconnecting yourself from the environment that you're in will absolutely positively impact the moment and the mood. See mental health and talk about it. talk about pain, talk about suffering, talk about loss. Let's not put that under the rug, because all of that happens on a day-to-day level. And we can do that through a very simple medium of putting, color on a piece of paper.
This universal language of where you don't have to speak, you just listen, and you're just brought together because of the sounds.
Still ahead, a musician's love letter to the community. The Bay Area's own James Stickney Small shares his message. Plus,
if I see somebody thriving, especially if it's somebody within my space or my community, I'm thriving too.
thriving together. We'll introduce you to the hairstylist who's working to diversify her industry. Stay with us. You're listening to the talents of Berkeley's own James Stickney Small, Grammy Award-winning drummer, out with his debut album called A Universal Love Language. When he's not performing with Fantastic Negrito or making his own music, he's teaching the arts at an elementary school. His goal, using his talents to unite people with music and love. When you were playing the drums, just tell me how you feel. Tell me the space you go to.
It's my happy space. You know, I cannot imagine like doing anything else. I'm not worried about anything. As soon as I sit down at the drums, I am just in this complete joyous space.
What has music meant to you all these years?
Music has been just a way for me to meditate, a way for me to relax, a way for me to be able to communicate with so many different people on this level that surpasses language, you know, surpasses any differences that we have when I'm playing music with someone. It's just, we become a community, we become family, and it's incredibly beautiful.
Being an award-winning musician in a band is one thing, but you're also spending your time and your talents helping kids. You're a teacher. Why has that been such an important part of your life?
Oh, my mom started an after-school program in Berkeley at Malcolm X Elementary School, and when I was in elementary school, I would go over and help her out and, you know, help with all of the kids, and I just continue to do that all throughout high school, and it's just something that's deeply rooted in me, and I just love to, you know, pass on my love and joy for the arts to children and see them, you know, glow and shine, and, you know, not be afraid of, you know, what people think when they step into our space. They are just absolutely happy, you know, pure bliss, and it's an honor to be able to provide that space for them.
You've taken that message and that positivity into your debut album. Tell me your excitement to release that and have something that's yours.
Yeah, it's wild. You know, I never thought I would release my own album, release my own music. I love to produce, I love to create music, but you know, it was just something for me. Like I said, and playing music is just my way of meditating. So to have it out in the world and see the reaction and see the joy that it brings people the same way that it's brought me joy is really incredible, and I'm just extremely lucky.
We see it on the shirt, we see it on the sign, Universal Love Language. I think a lot of people would refer to music as the universal love language, but what does that really mean to you and to your life?
I mean, for me, the title, it really kind of wrote itself, because all of the songs are about love, either loving yourself, you know, loving others, loving your partner, and you know, for me, I feel like every emotion is deeply rooted in love. So, you know, we can't come together as a community if we don't love ourselves first and then love everyone else.
You're from this area, you stayed in this area, you give back to this community. What is your message, not just to your students, but the community at large, even through tough times, about what music can be for everyone, and then what that underlying language of love is?
We really can't do this alone. Like, any artist that has ever told you that they built this by themselves. It's just not true. We need each other to be successful. We need each other to be happy. We need each other to, create a better world. And I'm using my album to, get that across in ways that words can't.
Now to another form of art, hairstyling. V. Vargas has launched a nonprofit apprenticeship program designed to help BIPOC first-generation youth begin their styling careers. Her goal, to give opportunities and to diversify the industry. What does doing people's hair mean to you?
So I've been doing hair for about 13 years now, and doing hair for people, it really is about creating a connection, creating a community within the people that sit in my chair, creating a safe space for them. And I realized that probably about 4 years ago when I noticed it wasn't so much the art of hair, it was really impacting folks and making them feel good and creating that relationship.
You're taking that relationship to the next step because you want to give this gift to other people to have the opportunity to stand where you stand. So tell me why you started Be Infinite.
So I started Be Infinite because I noticed the gap in the industry. There was a lot of inequities happening in the salons with apprentices, and so as a queer first-generation Latina, I thought, how can I create what I love doing behind the chair, as well as I work with folks incarcerated and survivors of human trafficking and guiding them. How can I bring this all full circle and just create a program, but also create a job for them and create a space where they could also heal and thrive.
Let's talk a little bit more about the program, who you hope to reach, and what you hope this will do.
Yeah, so I want to reach, it's really targeted towards Black, Indigenous, people of color, first generation youth, the LGBTQIA2 Spirit Plus community. And I really want it to create a lasting impact, and we're doing that by creating the program that is paying a living wage, that is providing benefits, as well as that one-on-one trauma-informed mentoring.
Let's talk a little bit about the apprenticeship program traditionally. For people that don't understand getting into this industry, how challenging that can be, especially living in a place as expensive as the Bay Area, because apprenticeships typically don't pay much, if at all, right?
Yeah, they don't. So for apprenticeships, so if you go to cosmetology school, that's one thing, and the apprenticeships in cosmetology schools you do one or the other. You can't blend them both. Cosmetology programs start anywhere from $20,000 and up. You can maybe get into a community college, but those are very lottery based and they don't have as much access there or space for folks to do it. It doesn't allow somebody, especially in the Bay Area, to be able to pay their bills, to have food on their table, to pay for transportation to get to work. So it's not really setting up the participant or anyone for success. Like if I see somebody thriving, especially if it's somebody within my space or my community, I'm thriving too. So it's not about like that power hoarding or upholding dominant culture of, I think there's enough to go around for everyone.
Do you hope a little bit that you use your pilot as an opportunity to encourage other stylists, other people who have had a successful career like you to give back?
Part of what we're doing is really creating like what that onboarding session looks like from the very beginning all the way to the end. The way that we're doing everything internally, which I think is what sometimes could lack in small businesses because I don't know the tools. I have somebody that's supporting me with that. And I think that if we do things in a certain way, there is enough to be able to provide benefits and to offer these services to folks. So I would love to be that trailblazer for folks to share that we can still thrive, we can still pay our bills. We just need to know how to logistically put that framework to play so that it is success for the company and it's also success for the participant.
When you create a space and a foundation of respect the amount of investment that your employees will give you is something you can't even imagine.
Coming up, an East Bay wine bar serving up much more than reds and whites. The owner's efforts to uplift and encourage her staff. Welcome back. Dolly Vino, a wine bar in Pittsburgh, is marking 1 year since its grand opening. The goal for the owner, Tara Sanders, to create an inclusive space for her guests and a place for her all-female staff to grow personally and professionally.
Dolly Vino, celebrating your 1 year anniversary. Just tell me how proud you are of everything you've accomplished in that year.
It's been a phenomenal year. To think all the work and effort that took to getting it open, and now how much we're celebrated in the community and how much the people of Pittsburgh and really all of Contra Costa County and the Bay Area have supported this small business is kind of unbelievable. And it takes a whole village, and my team that I work with is a whole village, and we're really proud of getting to 1 year.
Obviously, we've seen reviews. People love the wine bar, they love the food, but this is about much more than a wine bar for you. This is a place for community and a place for inclusion. Tell me why that was so important to you.
I've worked most of my career in higher education as an administrator, and I know what economic mobility is and how important it is to communities, and especially to women and underserved communities. And for me, when I decided to open up a wine bar in my community where I live, there were a number of things that I wanted to address. One of those was giving an opportunity for women to come in and get a job where they are respected and elevated, but that also gave them advancement opportunities and opportunities for continuous professional and ongoing development. All of the staff that work at Dolly Vino come in, and we talk to them about their goals. Do they want to be in the wine industry? Do they have other goals? One example is one of our managers is currently in school full-time for graphic design. So when I found that out, I said, okay, you're going to design the billboard that we have on Highway 4. I want you to design some of our flyers. And then I also encouraged her to enroll in the work experience course at her institution so that she could get credit for all the work that she's doing. Another example, our cook actually just graduated from her program at one of our local community colleges. And so to me, it's about continuing to pour into them in a way that's meaningful to them to help them advance in their careers.
Tell me why it's so important to bring women into this space and continue to encourage them with the experiences that you've had. And if it is to pursue higher education, why that's critical as well.
In my personal experience in my professional career, it has been women who have opened the door for me, who have encouraged me, who have mentored me. And I think it's incredibly important that for the women that I work with at the wine bar, that they are given opportunities for to achieve their own goals and advancement, and for someone and others to help them. And they all have different goals, whether it's the wine industry, other careers. And to me, stepping stones and opening doors is a real key part of that process.
What is the message that you would like to send to other businesses about furthering the careers of women and being that kind of space?
To me, the most important piece is respect, respect and advocacy. When we interviewed every single position, whether it was a busser or it was a manager, I said the foundation of this space is respect, and there's no hierarchy here. So no matter what position you're in, we all help each other out and we all elevate each other. And I've seen that not only in this part of my career, but in my entire career in higher education. And I think when you create a space and a foundation of respect, the amount of investment that your employees will give you is something you can't even imagine. But what they get for themselves from being in a space where they feel respected is the most important piece, because then they know how they deserve to be treated and how they deserve to be elevated. And I believe they'll find themselves in a much happier work environment than they could have imagined, because they know they're getting the space and the respect and the advocacy that they deserve.
A reminder, if you would like to see past and future episodes of Voices for Change, or you want to watch any of these segments again, head to our website, KTVU.com, or download our free app or the new Fox local app and search Voices for Change. That is our last show of the season. And a moment here. Though you always see me on camera, this would not be possible without our small team of incredible behind-the-scenes people. That's Brian, Cam, James, Bill, Robert. We're so grateful for all of you, for all the work that you all continue to do. And certainly thank you for watching. None of this would be possible without you. We'll see you next time. Until then, be good to each other.